car-worshipping town where everyone drives, like St. Louis, you better hope that your friends are good to you and can get you from point A to point B. And I'm sure if you were to ask my friends what my most annoying habit is, I think it's endearing. They would probably say it's annoying. It would be my habit of going to thrift shops, junk shops, antique shops, and buying big items and then not being able to get the items home. Having to arrange my friends to come pick me up with the items. And I furnished a whole apartment this way. I had lamps from an antique store, I had a table and chairs, I had dishes, I had pots and pans, and I still have everything, and most of the friends. There was one particular time where I may have taken things a little bit too far. I fell in love with a couch. It was a beautiful couch. It was turquoise. It was about, you could seat about like this whole front row, like 8 or 9 people. And it was turquoise, which was my favorite color. Heavy, perfect condition, probably from the 60s. They wanted $15 for it. I gave 10 because that was what me and my friends did. That was kind of our running competitive joke. How much did you pay for that dining room setup? Gave $3 for it, you know. So, and we still kind of do that. Those lamps, $10. Couch, $10. So then I had to set about finding a way to get this gorgeous, beautiful, block-long couch to my apartment. And I immediately thought I could call my friend the drummer. He had a van. He was a drummer, a little irresponsible drummer. Do I really need to say that? But he had a van, and I needed a man with a van. And he agreed to do it. But there was, of course, one catch, and that is that the van was in the shop. And somehow we came up with this plan that I would meet him and his roommate, and the 3 of us would drive to a club and pick up his final pay. Because I should probably mention at this time that he had been fired from his last gig in the middle of the performance on break. And was so wasted that he didn't even realize it and got back up after the break, and everybody was like, dude, what are you doing? You're fired. So, it's my friend the drummer, but he has a van, and I needed a man with a van. And so, you know, that's what we did. It was Friday night, so I got all decked out. I had till the next day to pick up the couch. But, you know, it was the 80s. I had on a little cute chiffon dress and heels and makeup, and he had on the requisite boots and leather jacket and mohawk, which made us about the same height. And, you know, we go to the first club. It's true. We go to the first club, and we get there, and the band goes on break, and the singer's like, dude, I'm so sorry, but I don't have your money. You're going to have to go across the river to Froggy's, where the manager's auditioning new drummers. And I heard Froggy's, and my eyes just about bulged out of my head, because Froggy's was a really rough biker club in East St. Louis. And even my friends that were bikers wouldn't set foot in Froggy's. In fact, I have another friend that's a drummer, unfortunately no van, but he, whenever he would play at Froggy's, he had this drum set that was a Yamaha drum set, and he had to tape over the Yamaha on the drum set because apparently the clientele at Froggy's didn't take kindly to Yamaha. But hey, if Froggy's was all that was between me and this couch, then I'm in, I'm going to Froggy's, let's go right now. So we get in the car, we go to Froggy's, it's January, it's freezing cold, gravel parking lot, all bikes in the parking lot. And we're walking, it's me, it's the roommate, I turn around, and the drummer's pulling this skull cap over his mohawk. And he's looking at me like, what? You don't expect me to walk into a biker bar with a mohawk? Certainly not. Now I definitely am going in Froggy's. So it's me, it's the roommate, and Bronson, the drummer, behind us. And we get in the club, and it's what you would expect, a lot of burly men in leather with tattoos and facial hair, and women with feathered hair and blue eyeshadow. And the roommate immediately disappears after a pack of women. And then by the end of the night, after dancing to ZZ Top and drinking cheap beer and hanging out with people like Tiny Little and Chuckles who never smiled, so clearly I was people like me, they had a sense of irony. Walking to the parking lot, I just started making out with the drummer. I know. And it was decided that we were going to go back to his place and I was going to stay the night, and he was going to help me get the couch in the morning and take me to work. So, to sweeten the deal, he told me he had a stack of Russian jazz albums that I just had to hear that were amazing. So Russian jazz, of course, I'm in. Who wouldn't fall for that? And we went back to his place, and sure enough, I remember very little Russian jazz and actually very little sleep. But true to his word, he did take me to work the next day. and bought me coffee. And we're talking, and it's a little awkward, and I don't really remember exactly what he said, because all I'm thinking is that van is not going to fit in the back of this couch. So ultimately, my sister helped me get the couch home. We put it on the top of her Chrysler Newport and drove it to our building, where a couple of bums carried it up for us for a case of beer. And then 2 days later, my brand new TV was missing, along with the bums in front of the building. So what really gets me is now when I tell people, when anyone asks me what I gave for that couch, I have to tell them the truth. $497.34.